Hey, how are you today? What a wonder to be here again. Pleasure to meet you all virtually. As usual, love to be quick and straight to the point. Today, I want to talk about the reset button. The reset button. In fact, we should just call it God's reset button. We just never know how many times God has reset our button to be appreciative. Every time you tripped and fell but didn't die, God just pressed the reset button. When you were about to go, He just said, nope, I still have stuff I need you to do for me. That time you had a near miss. Every near miss is a reset button. The car almost knocked you, but it didn't. That was God pressing the reset button. You almost got in an accident, but you didn't. That was God pressing the reset button for you. Every time God presses the reset button, we need to learn to be appreciative. We need to learn to be thankful. Because every near miss, every reset button should get us thinking, should get us changed, should get us to be more nice, more appreciative, more kind, more loving, more good to other people. Because like the Bible says, Jesus said, nobody knows the day or the hour. We all don't know the time, but that time is going to come when we are going to go. Someday we all going to go. We just don't know it, but we have to be ready when the time comes. And all these near misses is God trying to say something like, hey, you got to get your act together. You have to get yourself straight. That's why every time there is a near, He hits the reset button. Every single time He hits the reset button, it should make a different meaning to your life. Yesterday I had an incident at work. Every time we say computers, people think that a computer, is just a screen and a CPU. But I run one of very many gigantic computers at my workplace. Extremely, extremely huge. And this one has a running part. And I was putting on gloves, so I tripped, and I fell right under the machine where the parts move. That's a very dangerous part. That's the part that kills people, that chews your hands. It just pulls you in and eats you up, and that's it. Lucky for me, I tripped a sensor, and the machine went off instantly. That was my near miss. That was God pressing the reset button for me. And in that moment, I realized how short life is. How appreciative we need to be. How grateful and thankful that we need to be. We take life for granted each and every time. We take it for granted. We take our friends for granted. We take our parents and family for granted. We take our jobs for granted. We need to stop taking things for granted and start to appreciate, because you do not know the next time God will not press that reset button. You can't even tell how many times your reset button has been pressed, can you? But every near miss is a reset button that God pressed so that you can have another chance to be better. To whether your friends, to your family, to your workplace, to those that need you. Every time He pressed that reset button is a time for you to reconsider how you're living your life. Whether it's not for the purpose of trying to make it to heaven, but for the purposes of being humane and human. You don't know how many times God has pressed the reset button. Every time in your life He has pressed the reset button. Just when you were about to go, He said, no, you still have to stay. When you were about to go, He said, no, you still have work to do. Every time you have a near miss, be thankful. Every time you almost got involved in an accident and you didn't, be thankful, because that was a reset button that God just pressed right there. Go and be nice to people. Look at this time of COVID-19, very many people in different parts of the world are in need. We have elderly people in our societies, in our communities. They don't have food. The government help hasn't got to these people. Look out for those people. Just walk up to them, say, hey, here is some posho, here is some beans, here is some money, go buy something, be nice. Some of those acts is why God will always press the reset button for you. Because He knows that this person will help the other one if I reset their button. But if you are just there, You don't help anybody. You're not even nice to anybody. Does God have a reason to press your reset button? Anyway, I'm not God, so I cannot judge who he wants to press a reset button for. But I'm just speaking to you. You want to make sure that God always has your reset button on standby. In that moment when he is about to call you, like, nope, I need him. I got to reset this. You always have to think about your reset button. By being grateful, by being helpful, by being faithful, by being kind, by being generous. Not very many people have the opportunity to have that reset button pressed over and over again. In the course of my life growing up to now, I have known so many people whom their reset button didn't come up in time and they went. They were young. They went. They were not ready. They went. I have lost friends whose reset buttons were not pressed. They went. You got to work on your reset button, man. You have to be grateful and honest and humble. The Bible said God will humble the proud and he will uplift the humble. You always want to be humble. You do not want God to humble you. I tell you, you never want God to humble you. It's a bad thing. He might humble you by just not pressing your reset button. So, work on your reset button. Be humble. Be kind. Be grateful. Help one another. People need your help. Just help them. Give them food. You don't know how that comes a long way. You know, you're walking to work or you're walking from work and you find the kid. He has been sent back home because there was no school fees. How much is it? It's 50,000. Just pay it. Tell him, go back to school. Let's go. Let's pay your school fees. You do not know how much that helps people. Just be kind. Your neighbor has no food. Just say, hey, come on, let's go. I'm going to buy you food. I was at the post office. I had gone to send some mail. And there was this gentleman. He needed to send a package for some orphans in Haiti. But he didn't have enough money to pay for the package. I just told him, hey, can I pay for the package? I didn't have as much money as well. But I had enough to pay for the package. I was trying to work on my next reset button. I was trying to be nice to some kids in Haiti. You know? So, you have to always try to be kind. Try to be grateful. Try to be helpful. Try to be faithful. Be nice to others. It does not cost you anything to be nice to people. It doesn't cost you anything to be appreciative of what God has done for you, of the people that God has blessed in your life. Always be grateful, because I'll tell you, think about it. Every time you need something in life, a friend comes out and helps you. Think about, how did I meet this friend? And then you will go back and realize that, oh my God, this entire time I met this person because they were trying to help me in this moment. God pressed your reset button in that moment, or he pressed their reset button in that moment so that they could help you in this moment. What if you are somebody else's reset button? Your duty is to help somebody else. And then when you go, you fail in your duty to help them, and yet they helped you when it was your turn. The reset button is very important. Thank you for always watching. Barbara, Prosy, Andrew, Becky, it's a pleasure seeing you all. Thank you so much for always tuning in. You can always comment, and you can always share the different things you want to talk about and the aspects of life you need encouragement. I am grateful that you always make time to watch. You have a good one.